sometime. I got a good feeling. I got a feeling that I'm never ever. What's good, chat? What is good? Let me get the links out real quick. Unexpected live stream. So I don't think people know about it. Sharing the link in the Discord. The truth about trading. Ooh, mysterious. Announcements. I am live publicly. Boom. I'm seeing Mr. Sill in the chat. What is good, brother? Mr. Yoksh, SVR, Mr. Wesso, Meso. Can't handle it. Mr. Lars. Ooh, Lars Von Saver. My name, brother. Mr. Tanner, Ellie Blocks, TCT Lazo, Mr. Tariq, Mr. Pat. What is good, brother? Mr. Vaser Blanquito, great to see you guys tune in. I'm getting also the links out on X. Give me 1 second, then we're going to get started. I kind of just went live. I literally just went live. Didn't really have that much prepared. I did want to talk about something, though, but it just went live. Didn't really have that much prepared. Okay, sound is good. Everything is good. Everything is good. Okay. I quickly want to talk about some price action. Some things I'm looking at, especially also with the potential trade setup I shared also on YouTube. In case you haven't seen that video, just another casual daily trading recap. But also at the moment, where my head is at, and talk a bit more about trading and just especially the mental truth behind trading. Okay, because I think a lot of people on this platform X portray trading to be easier than it is. I always say it is doable. I never say it is easy. Okay, because I don't want people's expectations to be wrong. Otherwise, they simply get discouraged, right? Which is oftentimes the case. But looking at some price action here, the price action has been fucking shit. With all due respect, this week, not that much has been going on. I have basically just been waiting and waiting and waiting, and then seeing trade opportunities on a Sunday at 3 in the morning, or seeing trade opportunities on an Asia where I'm like, I'm sleeping, right? It's been after hours, weekend, or Asia, which has mainly been taking over the past few days and potential weeks in trading. So looking at the major right here, Bitcoin, referring back to the last stream, we had this buy side liquidity here. And this buy side liquidity was definitely a target of mine where I was looking for a potential short, right? Because we have an okay bottom, but the bottom is not that significant. We have some sort of an accumulation model, but it's not really a technical high probability setup. It's just an overall bottoming structure that delivered the expansion towards the upside. We were looking at the bottom right there. We called the bottom right there, but I couldn't find myself an entry at the bottom right there. And basically ever since we've been coming up, but on that way up, we have been leaving a lot of liquidity below, right? You can see the main low, the higher low afterwards, higher low, higher low, higher low. In this range, lots of higher lows. And right now you're stagnating at the supply zone. And this supply POI is extremely important because closing above it, there is nothing done other than buy side liquidity yet again. Literally all the way up to 119.4. If you can close above the supply, there's basically nothing from a supply perspective that is going to make price reject back down. It's all buy side liquidity above. But at the same time, with this demand below right here, this is also one of the only demand POIs protecting price from taking all this sell side liquidity below, because we've got 1 low, 2 low, 3 low, 4 low, 5 low, 6 low, 7 low, 8 lows, and then we have demand. So we're in between a supply and a demand area where above the supply, there's nothing other than buy side liquidity, and below the demand, there's nothing other than sell side liquidity. And that's why I'm obviously at resistance, I'm looking for some sort of a distribution. At support, I'm going to be looking at some sort of an accumulation. But I'm also not seeing any potential distribution or accumulation model at the moment, right? I'm not seeing any TCT schematic on BTC individually, right? We're just at resistance and we're stagnating. We're consolidating. We have some deviations towards the upside. We have some news. The news gets reversed. It's nothing that special locally. Okay, nothing that special locally. Now, a few things I want to say from a higher time frame perspective here. If you want to have a more sustainable move towards the upside, it is actually better for price to reject at current market prices somewhere in here, grab all that buy side the sell side liquidity after distributing, sweeping that low, and from there get higher time frame accumulation models. That would be better if you want to have a more sustainable move towards the upside. Okay, sustainable move towards the upside. If you then have a higher time frame accumulation, that is more money being accumulated and therefore more demand pressure sustaining an aggressive expansion towards the upside. A low like this is minimal. It can still be a low, but the low is minimal. And if we remain and keep all that sell side liquidity intact, and we don't get a distribution here that rotates price back down, but we end up going for that buy side liquidity and higher, then I'm switching to my higher time frame structure, which is making higher lows and higher highs right here, higher lows and higher highs. And I'm looking at this from a potential new range where the purpose of this 2-tab model at the highs represented with the blue dots was to create the range high of your higher time frame ranging environment. Okay. And then from there, I will be looking for distribution models again in confluence with the high time frame schematics as well on USDT dominance, which is still in an overall macro accumulative environment. So that's just where my head is at, right? Because in that case, this would rotate back down. We mitigate extreme demand right there. Therefore, if we go higher on BTC, this goes lower. We can look at this as the market structure continuation prior to going into your high probability ranging environment. And then from here, look for potential accumulation schematics that can push price back up. And if you confirm an accumulation model here, whether it stays here or whether you go for a model 1 just in this environment, that will be the bull market top. I can guarantee you that you do not want to mess with a macro accumulation model on USDT dominance, potentially even tapping into demand. It's not something you need to be worried about right now. We'll trade it when the time is right. Because at the same time that we finally completed our distribution model right here on USDT dominance, which we used in confluence with our Bitcoin expectations, we are building a lot of buy-side liquidity above. So we're not really in an environment right here on USDT dominance where I would per se say that we're going to be turning this distribution into an accumulation, right, by deviating the low and then expanding back towards the upside. If that happens, then obviously taking that high again, it's basically reverse Bitcoin's expectations, right? If we take that high again, that is the low on Bitcoin. So we'll be looking for distribution models in here, and then we're going to look for accumulation models on Bitcoin, right? It's basically the same, but then reversed. However, USDT dominance has been giving us an extremely more clear picture than Bitcoin, because where Bitcoin failed to have a high probability accumulation model, allowing us to benefit of the current move up that we're seeing, because this is basically a second tab model because we already took the high prior to retracing, USDT dominance actually had a valid distribution models. And these retracements here were part of Wyckoff taps and can therefore be traded, whereas Bitcoin taps were simply higher lows. Okay, so it has definitely been painting a more clear picture. And even here locally, if we're going to be seeing a rejection, it's going to be because of this local price behavior on USDT dominance, where we have a potential Model 1 accumulation that swept the main range low, expanded towards the upside, and now went over into another range that can deliver TCT in TCT models, where we could have a high time frame 1, 2, and 3, and 4 Model 1 into Model 2 accumulation, where that extended tab, that fourth tab, could be created via a TCT model. If we develop something like this, I will be looking for some sort of a short. Probably not on Bitcoin, but rather on an altcoin, because it's probably going to be in confluence with ETH's local distribution model. Okay, so I'm monitoring this on the lower time frame. There isn't really a whole lot on Bitcoin here. I personally also would not be surprised to see BTC trade higher, because when I was initially expecting a reaction from this level, I wanted to see the liquidity getting swept, where the purpose of the move up that swept that liquidity was to reverse down. That indicates to me that the purpose of the move up is to only sweep liquidity to fill more short positions, rather than actually wanting to stay up there and spend price action up there, right? The fact that you take that liquidity and you don't reverse means and tells to me that the liquidity wasn't used to fuel a reversal, rather just price was going higher. So I'm extremely careful right now with a potential short. But if I get the accumulation models in here and I get the distribution models on the altcoins, I will simply have to execute it because it's my system telling me to do so. Okay, so BTC dominance also, if we want to look at the correlation between Bitcoin and the altcoins at the moment, is doing nothing. It has been doing nothing for the past 20 plus days right here. It's just been going sideways. So very little information that you can get out of it. Personally, I would have loved, and we can still get it, a retracement up, tapping into our most optimal reversal level, which is this supply POI right here. The reason why this is the most optimal reversal level is because this level represents the selling pressure of the total Model 1 distribution right here. This total structure supply just refined down to the true inefficiency. Anybody that has been watching the TCT Mentorship 2025 knows exactly what I'm talking about. It is even here your demand to supply flip, where the make or break of demand got reversed into supply. So if we get a move down on some altcoins for potential high time frame accumulation schematics, and we tap in the supply, is going to be acting as a +1 from a short perspective or from a long perspective. Okay, but besides that, I really haven't been using this. Honestly, I just simply haven't been using this. There hasn't been a model. There hasn't been anything going on. I'm waiting patiently. Okay. Now, ETH, on the other hand, has been an incredibly stubborn pair to me personally, because if you've been following me on YouTube or just on my account in general, right, we have multiple long positions, a very refined long position from right here that we were targeting towards upside right there. And then we had another long position on lower risk running from here that we were targeting towards the upside. And both trades came to our resistance POI, rejected back down, right? We put the stop to break even, and this got stopped at break even right there. And then here we took a partial take profit, and then the news stop price out also for the remainder of the position at break even, right? So two long positions based on high probability accumulation models did not make its way up. Price then went lower aggressively, and then without giving me a proper entry, went back up again. So in confluence with Bitcoin being at resistance and potentially rejecting, but just not giving the confirmations to do it, or the confirmation for us to execute on it, but potentially use the dominance accumulating here locally, we do have ETH here having some sort of a potential distribution model. I would say it is a bit, I'm I'm a bit more skeptical behind it because the second tap here was solely because of the news, right? It's a one candle move down. So I'm always a bit more careful when it's literally just one candle down. But overall, you do have a 1, you do have a 2. You just technically cannot validate. You cannot validate this model on the 1 minute time frame because you cannot draw your structure because it's one candle because of the news. It's one move up, it's a move down, and it's another move up. So a bit of a tougher situation to trade here. But I am watching some setups potentially in confluence with ETH, right? We got the uni model that I talked about on the YouTube video regarding the post trading analysis as well, watching for an EHP setup. We have Algorand here as well that has an actual, I think this is a bit of a more sustainable move down, or also one move. Just one candle down. We got Brett, a bit too fast of a move up for my liking. I'm also not getting any confluences yet with the other pairs. Was it also one candle down? No, so this actually went lower. I do like the fact that went a bit lower. And then we have Ada, another big fan. I think Link even went up. Yeah, I had Link here as well. It's like the pairs have been moving up, but I really need to get some confluences if I want to pull any triggers on this, and I'm being extremely cautious. I want to make that clear, okay? I'm being cautious because the models right here, these moves down have just been one candle moves down. Literally just one candle right there. But we are at resistance here. Let's see if we can draw that return to zone. It's curling a bit up. I would kind of divide this into 2 parts. She's going to go in Asia again. Yeah. Let me check, though, where that market structure is. Like, everything has been during Asia, bro. You got your 2-minute market structure low right there. You got that structure demand below it. Got that structure demand below it right there. I am going to set an alert because I want to know once price reaches that level. We tapped into some nice resistance. This is that kind of like this is local market maker supply, right? You got that low time frame model 1 distribution exactly on the news, rejecting price back down. You finally taken out all that buy side liquidity. But yeah, I'm just there's room of error. I want to make that clear. Okay. There is room of error. Besides that, it's a good looking setup though. You just literally you cannot validate this on a time frame because when you look at this, it's this candle ruins your structure. It's not that you have like one move up and move down again. It's just it's a move up there. I think you did take the high though prior to the low. Yeah. So you basically have this. This you cannot validate. But also I like Link there. I think I forgot to post Link. I would need to check that though. Did I post Link? I feel like I forgot to add Link to it. Let me double check. ETH, Uni, Brett, and Algo. No Link. Let me add Link to this. I'm posting in the Discord, by the way, in case you were wondering. Okay. Perfect. What is that volume profile doing? So you got the volume area high right there at that demand. So we'd like to see that level get broken, right? If I want to get interested, you'll probably of me need a deeper close in here, and then preferably some sort of a pullback, looking to short, stop loss above that high, and then run it back down. The pullback, right? The behavior of the pullback is high quality. We cannot deny that that is not high quality right there. Beautiful return to zone on that pullback. It is just the inability to draw anything, basically. And the lack in confluences, I would say. Yeah. The candle's even messing me up. Hi. Let me check. 3 hour. Oh damn. Some lightning in the city here. 1 move, 2 move, 3 move. And then it becomes noise right there. Yeah. Set an alert below there. Put it on my other screen just to have an eye on it. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, so, like, you got these potential setups, but they lack confluences. So I would definitely not go any heavy risk on them if I get the confirmations to do so. But if they start to turn around, it's going to be fast, man. It's honestly going to be extremely fast. What's APT doing there? It's pretty steady moving up. Yeah. Yeah, altcoin is definitely showing strength. Okay, let me check if the stream is okay. How often do you take a trade? Depends, man. Right now, I have taken 1 trade this week so far, but it's because there was no opportunity. So I would say on average, I can take 10 trades in a month. Sometimes even more. Sometimes I need 2 trades to get into a position properly. So it depends on how you calculate it, but there's a lot of opportunity, man, honestly. It also depends on your preference. If you want to trade lower time frames, you could have a trade almost every day. There's so many pairs. You should do Asia streams instead of the London streams, bro. I know, but the thing is, the moment I decide to start focusing on my sleep schedule is when you get all this Asia price behavior. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. Algo has the perfect tab with the overlapping supply, which you prefer an M1. We already have a tab of that, brother. Oh, you meant perfect tap. No. It's tapped. It's tapped. When something is tapped, like, obviously it could be a Model 1. Don't get me wrong, but when something is tapped like that and gets such an aggressive reaction away, it's not a target. It shouldn't be a target, should I say. Also, just all 1 candle moves down, honestly. Yeah, we're going to see. We're going to see. I like that link, though. That's pushing up right there. Now you took that high again, so stop or market structure low moves up, following the market structure towards the upside. Even just this, it has a lot of room of error. I wouldn't just enter on this breaker structure. But they're high RR. They're very high RR. You just have this room of error here. That you need to watch out for. Was that 0.5% stop? Okay. Hopefully more trades for the European people soon, bro. I would love to. I would honestly love to. I've been waiting, man. It's been a repeating cycle. It's been waking up, seeing what you could have traded, and then waiting the entire day for something new to develop that confirms during Asia, you know? But we'll definitely be watching that. Market makers are watching you. Honestly, bro. Sometimes it feels like it, though. Can we take link with USDT kind of accumulating? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Mr. the Trader, hey Lars, I have a good win rate and around a 2RR, but I risk very little because I'm scared that I would lose my funded account. I risk around 0.2% per trade. I think I got a psychology or execution issue. Well, if you say you have a good win rate and you only take 0.2% per trade because you're scared of losing the account, if you have a good win rate and let's say the max drawdown is 6%, let's say the max drawdown is 6, like what are the chances of you losing 6 trades in a row? If it's a good win rate, it's probably pretty little. Very little chance of losing 6 times in a row, so then you can just take more risk, right? If you have almost a 0 possibility of losing 6 trades in a row and you're risking 0.2, that means in your worst case scenario, so bad that it's 0.01% of the time it doesn't happen, you only lose 1.2% when the max drawdown is more than is around 6, then you're playing too conservative. It's just math. It's not even like emotions. And especially, right, especially when it's an evaluation. I don't know if it's an evaluation or not, but if it's an evaluation, you just gotta take a bit more heavy bets on that. Like at least 1%, you know, unless it's just a trade that's 0.5 worthy. But if it's an evaluation account and it's a trade that's 0.5 worthy, I wouldn't even take the trade to begin with, right? I would just wait for the high quality trades, take them heavier, pass the account, and be done. I do like Link here, man. Didn't have a proper accumulation, though. Still got that sell side liquidity target below. Swept pretty significant buy side liquidity there. Also, no. Nah, I do have some sort of a bottom information. Closed in a day, though. That's still a lot of time. Yeah. We're going to see how this develops. Talking about bread, though, where is my bread pair? I think I made that disappear. Oops. Let me put that back. Oh, these are big candles. Getting a rejection towards the downside here. Tapping into some structure demand. It's really just building more buy side liquidity there. The nice thing about bread, though, is that is one of the only pairs that actually have multiple candles go lower. So if you want to look at it from a distribution perspective, you actually had to move up and move down, and move up and move down, and then move up to there, and you have two candles going down prior to retracing. So you can actually draw structure, which is nice. You know, you're not just trading inside of some sort of a bigger wick. It's some actual structure. With that inefficiency. Yeah. Bit of an awkward environment as a whole. I'm not gonna lie. And these charts is not moving, bro. Not moving. Which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Nice topping, 15-minute on Brett. Can you explain how Bayesian high and low works? Have you ever seen me use that terminology? Been taking too many trades. I've been working on my psychology mainly lately, bro. Psychology is the most important. Would you say a link has an inefficient range? Yeah, it does. It does. Hype extended tab doesn't look good to you. It shouldn't look good to anyone, in my opinion, right? We talked about having a EHP model in the third tab from the distribution perspective, and then you come down towards extreme demand. This is where you de-risk going into the news, especially after you leave a lot of buy-side liquidity. So you sweep all sell-side liquidity in the range. You tap into extreme demand right there, and you have a V-shaped reversal towards the upside. So you leave buy-side liquidity above, you sweep sell-side liquidity, tapping into extreme demand, and you have a V-shaped reversal towards the upside. And there's nothing here. That's not the best. I don't even see a supply POI. Oh, you mean this tiny little block right there? Block is also mitigate on the, or yeah, mitigate on the lower time frame. No. This is one of the examples. This is one of the examples where this would only look good Like, I see the potential of this looking good if you get the move down. It's really one of those situations. It looks good if you end up getting the move down. But right now, when you have to visualize it, at least, well, you don't have to, you don't have to think too hard about it, because you got to move up that left extreme demand behind. So there's not going to be an entry trigger very soon, because your 3-minute market structure low, your 10-minute, the 15-minute market structure low, it's protected by this demand. So you got some time to think. I would say if this creates some sort of a topping structure, let's say this goes down, it starts ranging in here, and you maybe you get a distribution model, right? That's when I would look to play it, because then I can see the potential of this turning into a higher time frame distribution, where I would kind of divide this into a liquidity point from here, 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 and here to a local liquidity move up here, leaving a lot of lows. But now, after getting such a big move up already, I'm a bit careful with that. So if you start to top around here, and then maybe USD dominance starts to accumulate here, I have it on reverse, but it starts to accumulate in here, and you have ETH also distributing, right? That's when things could kind of start to turn around. But until then, you want to be picky, and you want to be and keep it high probability, because it's a strong asset at the moment. It's bullish until proven otherwise. So I'm not immediately gonna completely crack the idea down, because you can say, hey, the purpose of the move up might be to sweep exactly that liquidity. I initially did not see that market maker supply right there, but you need to, like with Bitcoin being here, you want to have extremely refined entries if you're going to short, because if Bitcoin just trades higher towards that liquidity target, the rest is going to trade higher as well. So I'm going to set my alert at the high of that 5-minute supply, because if you start to take that high, things start to look less good. Oh, damn. Well, this is what I love, right? No market structure confirmations, no nothing. There's also no confluence of any majors now, so we just need to be patient. We just got to be patient, brothers. So, a thing I wanted to talk about during this live stream, and also one of the reasons why the title of this live stream is called The Truth of Trading. The reason why I've named that, and I need to grab some pairs with it. Let's grab Sui right here. The reason why I've named it The Truth of Trading, let me open up StreamYard, is that when I came back, when I came back from vacation, it was my first week being back. We were at a standpoint in the market where I had an extremely clear bias. We had the most obvious draw of liquidity right here. We got clear exhaustion towards the upside. We got our high probability distribution model. We traded our high probability distribution model. And we took it down, and we profited off the move down. Okay, it was 9RR right here. So I came back. I checked the charts. I had an extremely clear draw of liquidity. I had an extremely clear bias. It was very easy contextually speaking. I saw my high probability model. I took it. We profited. Amazing. This is the 28th of August, right? We took that down. Now, pay close attention. While I was shorting Sui, I was also watching, and we're going to grab it with USDT. Let's grab it with. See what I did there? I know you like that wordplay, but we were looking at with. Okay. It was right here. Let's put it back. At the same time that we were watching SUI, we were watching WIF. And this confirmed an extremely nice distribution model where you have your 1, you have the 2, and you had the 3. At this point in time, this looked extremely good right here. We took this the exact same time as WIF. I want to clarify this. We took this the exact same time. You can see SUI here. I mean, SUI and WIF. We took WIF the exact same time as SUI. Same exact time during New York on the Thursday. What happened? SUI got the move towards the downside without taking us out. However, the moment we got this Model 1 distribution schematic right here, with the high quality return to zone, with the great range duration, with all the variables towards it, the quality breaker structure right here, with the topping formation, this right here stopped us out before trading lower. Exact same moment of entry, similar model. And if we continue, you can see this immediately went higher. Immediately, okay? Immediately stopped us out. And I divided my risk across both. So I had a 0.5 risk in SUI. I had a 0.5 risk in WIF. SUI, 9RR, banger. WIF stopped us out. However, prior to the WIF actually retracing back down to the same low that we are targeting on SUI, that naked low with that sell side liquidity, the market presented us the most perfect re-entry opportunity right here, where this failed Model 1 distribution schematic that we tried to trade, it went over into a new range. And we can look at the previous price action as exhaustion. And right from there, when it went over into a new range, we got our 1, we got our 2, we had an extremely clear, extremely clear third tap POI, got the mitigation of the third tap POI, had the demand below, right there. No entry confirmation on that first tap because you wicked the low and then you traded higher, went deeper into the same POI, and boom, seller step in aggressively. This is the break of structure right there. That's the invalidation right there. And then the target is not only this low, which is already allowing for 11 RR entry opportunities, guys. The target is the main low. The main naked low. This was bound to get taken. I'm talking 33 RR entry opportunities. Textbook. Okay? Literally textbook. There was only one but. And the but is that the entry presented itself during 6:30 a.m., which is when I am not awake. Okay? 6:30 in the morning, 30 RR entry opportunity. I could take this trade and not care about the rest of the entire, not even the rest, about the whole new month coming up. Because we banked 9 RR and we banked a fucking 30 RR. It ended up hitting to take profit if it wants to go faster. However, we missed that trade because of timing, because it happened at 6:30 in the morning. Super unfortunate. But at the same time, we did make around 3+% on SUI. Again, it was 9 RR, partial TPs on a 0.5 risk. So overall, right, we had an amazing trade. We were on the right side of the market. It's all good. It's all joyful. It's all happy. Everyone's dopamine is through the roof because they're taking winning trades left and right. It's all good. Okay? Goddamn, this needs to speed up. Let's get to that low. There you go. There you go. You get to the low. This is where things start to get interesting. Okay? Because the moment we take all these shorts down, missing the highest probability model delivering the highest RR, we were looking at a bottom on Bitcoin. Surprise, surprise, right? Looking at a bottom on Mr. BTC. Now, if you go back to my either post in Discord or maybe even YouTube video from the beginning of September, I called the bottom on Bitcoin, okay? I called the bottom on Bitcoin. I said against every single statistic, every single edge, I was like, this is going to be the local bottom. It ended up being the local bottom. But guess what? There was no accumulation model on Bitcoin. So my expectation did not get a confirmation. So despite my expectations being good, I had no trade. Matter of fact, at the same time that Bitcoin confirmed the bottom, we had Virtual offering a potential Model 1 accumulation schematic. Again, this is discussed all on YouTube, but it was right here, okay? I understood that there was still risk because we had the supply and we had the volume area low lining up, but I was anticipating on a reversal on Bitcoin, which was supposed to be a bit more aggressive. So I was like, I can already enter here, de-risk if we get the bounce from extreme demand and trade this higher. That was the pre-planning. But guess what happened? We went up at the same time that Bitcoin went up, okay? And then Bitcoin delivered higher lows. Virtual went lower before going higher again, stopping me out of my position. So despite my expectation being correct, okay, I did not make any money. Matter of fact, I lost money because I took the losing trade on Virtual with the anticipation of going higher. That's still fine. We make 3%, we lose 1%. It's a compounding game. We have to keep on consistently executing. This is where things slowly start to get more annoying, right? And I want you guys to truly listen. People only fantasize trading. It's not all fun, okay? It's just a job. We have to execute. We have to show up. We have to work. Listen closely. While expecting a bottom on Bitcoin, basically nailing every single move in this entire region on Bitcoin, I had no trade on Bitcoin, okay? I was looking from an accumulation perspective on two different trades on ETH, where we had a Model 1 accumulation, and we got the long from here, and we got the long from here. I've talked about this too many times. Two different high probability accumulation schematics in anticipation with BTC trading higher, both trades getting stopped at break even. One actually a break even trade, the second for slight profits. But when the profit is not more than 1%, I'm calling it break even, okay? High quality trades, great execution, refined entries. We did everything from a risk management perspective, everything from a trade management perspective. We did everything good. The market simply did not want to go higher. Now, out of all the pairs that delivered a move up, this is where our entry was. The news right here at 4 p.m. on Friday, last week Friday, it caused a move below the starting point of that day. You can see you had the low of that day, you went up the day after, and price after the news went lower than the previous day. If you go, If you go to any other pair, for example, a Pepe, since we're talking about ETH, right? Let's go to Pepe. You had the low right here, and you had the high right there. And you can see that the news wick towards the downside, okay? The news wick towards the downside was a higher low compared to the low from Thursday. So Ethereum, the highest market cap pair with the cleanest accumulation, has the biggest move down. Is that annoying? Yes. Can we do anything about that? No. Unfortunate. Okay. All these altcoins deliver higher lows, but ETH takes out the low, which is where our invalidation was located. It gets even better, guys. It gets even better. Because after this happened, I was looking for an accumulation model to develop on WIF. I've spoken about this in the Discord. I haven't spoken about this online. That's private information. I was looking for a high probability schematic right here. I literally said, I want to move down to here. I want to get the entry and I want to long it up. And this is an extremely high probability entry if we get it in the way that we want it to. Okay. Guess what? We came down and we did not get it in the way that we wanted to get it. And then we got the move up. Looking back on some other pairs later, you had DOT right here getting the exact play that I was talking about on WIF, but then giving us exactly what we wanted to see right here. A high probability accumulation schematic that could even run all the way up to 5.3, allowing for 40 RR entry opportunities. But we did not check DOT. Random fucking pair, but it got exactly what I wanted to see on WIF. Is that unfortunate? Yes. Can I do a lot about it? No, because I don't got eyes everywhere. Okay. And oftentimes you do get on a WIF because the previous 30 RR play was on WIF. It gets even better because then prices start to retrace. And I am in one of the biggest positions that I've ever been in on APT, which I shared in summer, all the way from here, a 50 RR play on high risk from there. What happens? We create a Model 1 accumulation schematic. Let's ignore the price action. We create a Model 1 accumulation schematic where I purposely trailed my stop loss down, which is something I never do. I purposely trailed my stop loss down because there was the potential that we could use this low, which was my stop loss placement, as extreme liquidity. What do? We get the move down and we see the move up. Look at that. Model 1 accumulation, sweeping extreme liquidity, breaking structure back inside, creating structure demand, protecting price from revisiting that low. I follow my trading system. I now trail my stop loss towards that low. What happens? Price takes that low once more. And look where we are right now. And guess what? That's completely fine. I followed my system. There's nothing I can do about a sell to buy to sell to buy. But the re-entry opportunity where our Model 1 accumulation schematic went over in an extended accumulation model, allowing for re-entry opportunities on the break for, again, high RR, high risk positions that could already operate risk-free right now, happened on Sunday at 3 a.m. in the morning. I was traveling at 6 in the morning, so I did not see anything because I was flying back from Copenhagen to Amsterdam, literally at 6 a.m. on a Sunday. So I missed this setup, and I got stopped out. Just to put it into perspective, guys, I got stopped out at entry for 4.7K profit. Kind of gives you an indication of how big my position was. I took one partial TP at that high right there. That is it. Okay. So we pre-plan multiple long positions. We execute 3. Virtual got stopped. Okay. Virtual got stopped at for a loss. 2 ETH longs that are stopping me at break even. We had the Sui short, extremely nice. But while we have the Sui short, we miss the whiff short that we were watching. So Sui is nice, but we divided the ways with whiff. Okay. Re-entry on whiff for 30 RR, 6:30 in the morning. Nice. Entry opportunity on ETH twice, stopped at break even before we're seeing some upside at the moment. Long on WIF, which was an extremely high probability model, didn't get the proper confirmations. Happened on DOT, did not notice it. Stopped on APT at the exact low and missing the re-entry at 3 in the morning for 40-hour entry opportunities. Nice. Guys, what do? I show up the next day and I execute the exact same way as I always do. Is there frustration? Yes. Is there anger? Yes. Can I do anything about it? No. So what do? I continue trading, waiting for the next high probability setup. And that is it. But I'm acting calm, and I am calm, and I continue to do what I need to do every single day. But then when I see a beginner trader take two unfortunate losses, where one loss, they didn't even stick to the overall plan, they get so fed up, they get so much anger and a feeling of revenge, and they completely blow their next trades. Brother, you have maybe been through 1/10 of what I've been through, and I'm just sitting here executing the next damn trade. See the difference, okay? You need to see and understand the difference. You're not the only one that is unlucky here and there. Every single trader, including me, can be unlucky, because what I can call this is literally unluckiness, right? It's just unluckiness. I can do nothing about it. I can do literally nothing about it. I can stay awake for Asia and hope for an entry, but that would drive me so mentally insane within a period of a week that I couldn't even focus when I needed to focus. I could have made hundreds of thousands of dollars on these 10, 20 RR trades, 30 RR trades. Literally hundreds of thousands on 30, 20, back to back to back. No, we predicted the markets and I was not able to benefit off of it. Is that shitty? Yes. Do I allow myself to feel shitty for a moment to get it out of my system? Yes. Do I do an extra rep in the gym during hex squat, pushing out the feelings of missing on 30 RR trades, taking on 5K risk? Yes, an extra rep. But afterwards, guys, you cannot dwell yourself too much up about it. I'm telling you, it's the patience and the time in the waiting that breaks most traders, because while you're waiting, you are thinking back of what could have been. If you are backtesting and you make a few mistakes, that's fine. You put replay mode on, you put a 10x play on, and then boom, you have the next trade, you make 1%, and then you're through an entire month of price action. You look back 10%. Oh, look, I can make money, everything. But it's in the waiting period and the waiting window where you are just thinking back of what could have been. And then the waiting period, which sometimes, as of now, takes fucking ages, is going to feel even more like ages, because you're thinking of what you could have made. That's gone. There's nothing that you can do about it. The only thing you can do is just show up the next day with a clean mindset. But I'm telling you, I've seen traders, I've talked to traders. Guys, we have a community of 3,000 people. 3,000+ people inside. I get tens of private messages a day. That's why I always tell you guys to not send that many private messages to me, because I get so many a day. Because we have 3,000 people. So if 1% decides to send me a message that day, you got like 30 people on you, right? But I love seeing you guys send me messages, but my inboxes are fucked. So if I don't reply to you, it's because my inboxes are fucked. But I get messages a day where people are just like telling me how much they're struggling with the psychology, right? And it's not even just people trading TCTs, just people trading in general. Some people are on the server and they're also still operating on other systems, but they're just like, man, I fucked up. I didn't stick to the plan. I was waiting and got frustrated with the loss here, and then I executed there, and then I took even more risk on the third trade, and then boom, they're gone. Guys, there is always a next opportunity. It is when you least, literally, it's when you stop caring and stop searching in depthly for it that it will just come to you. You just need to sit there, show up. And if you understand the models, guys, if you understand why I do what I do, it is just a matter of when, not if. It's the if, it's the doubts. You're only impulsively acting because you want to make money, because there's still a doubt in your mind that you might not make it. And therefore it needs to work now. Now. No. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. Oh, what a fucking quote. That was top of the brain type shit. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. Holy shit. I'm gonna tweet that right now. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. Stop playing with me. Come on now. Everybody drop a fucking like on that. Boom. I send the link in the chat. But slow is smooth, smooth is fast. If you backtest the models when you're still learning, if you backtest the models, you know they work. If you backtest my YouTube channel, you know they work. If you study the work I have done and the trades I have taken, you know it works. It's right there in front of you. You see the high probability models. You see the money we make. You see the percentages getting compounded. It works. You just need patience. Okay? Now, I'm getting a question. What is the best way to wait for high probability setups? You go do your TA, you set your alerts, and you wait for your alerts to go off. And you don't stare at the charts or at the screens. Hours upon hours upon hours. It is literally, I said this most recently. It's literally, if you keep on staring at the charts and there's nothing going on, it is like giving a kid a candy and expecting it to not eat it. How can you give a child a candy and expect it to not eat it? The desire is so great. You are the kid and the candy is a trade. If you sit there and you're already struggling with discipline, how can you expect yourself to not take a trade if you sit and stare so long? That's why I also say, don't quit trading for your job immediately, right? Because when you can trade, you know it's just waiting. I had the luxury around 2 years ago that the job that I had was an online job. So I did the invoices for a company, like the financial aspect for a company. So I had online work, which is perfect. But also now, people always say, oh, if you're a profitable trader, you don't need a paid membership, or you don't need a, Discord community or paid subscriptions. I'm like, brother, 99% of my time is spent waiting for my models that I execute. So I wait, I execute, and then I wait some more, sticking to the plan. In the meantime, I can make a YouTube video talking about what I look for, why I do what I do, how I execute it, making a mentorship, talking to people on the server, looking at different models, sharing ideas, answering questions, posting on X, right? That's how it slowly starts to roll, okay? But when you're beginning and you don't have the luxury to just stop working, which is completely normal because life is fucking expensive, and you need money, and you don't want to be, dependent on the money from trading, especially when you're a beginner trader. The time that you have outside of your work, you spend studying. The moment that you start to understand why I do what I do, and it's only about the execution part, now it's setting alerts, waiting, executing, sticking to the plan, journaling, reflecting on the journaling, learning, improving, and repeat. Repeat. And now you're going to be making so much money that you can finally quit your job, and now you're chilling because the time that you spent waiting are in beautiful locations with beautiful people and beautiful views and good food and a healthy life, and you can spend some more time on fitness and you're chilling and it's all great. Okay? But until you're there, don't stare at the screen and force yourself into taking a trade because, like I said, you cannot expect the kid to not eat a candy when you just put it there in front of them. Literally. So I just wanted to tell you guys that, right? I'm waiting for my models. I am trade them consistently. I'm executing. I am 100% confident. Listen closely. I am 100% confident that I will be making my usual return this month because I've done it every month, right? Every month. Every month. So I also have a track record and a journal to look back on. You can get that data through backtesting or seeing what I've traded. It's just a matter of executing. But I don't want you to see me execute and realize, oh, he made 10% this month. Oh, he took a few high probability setups. Oh, that is easy. I'm gonna do this as well. You don't know what went on in that entire period of missing a trade, taking the wrong trade, having the right expectations but having no trade. It's just that you become mentally resilient to it. But people just see me take a trade. Oh, nice, 10%. Oh, this is some sort of magic. I'm also do this now and make 10% easy. It might be easy for me now, but this is the mental strength that you need to build in order for it to become easy. And that building that mental strength isn't easy. That's difficult. You're sitting there. You're missing a trade. You're waiting. You're taking the wrong trade. Your execution is correct, but it just doesn't go in your favor and you get stopped at break even. That's all happening in between me trading the entire month. And beginners fell on this. I see it with my own eyes. I get messages every single day, right? I get good messages, bad messages, neutral messages, appreciative messages, love messages, all types of messages, but also of someone occasionally here and there saying, fuck, I just passed my funded account and I fucking blew it. I blew it the same day. I blew it the same week because I could not take a trade because now there's real money connected to it. And the moment I lost it in an unfortunate way, it rolled over. You need to lock in. Okay, you need to lock in just by being aware. I want you to just be aware. If you are aware, you can fix the problem. If you are aware, this is what goes on an every day-to-day basis. To me, you can realize this is what it takes in order to make that consistent money. But if there's a trader that just shows, oh, I'm going to take a trade here, I'm going to take a trade there, another winner, another winner, another winner. And you're sitting there, fuck, I took the wrong trade. It's not going for me. It's not meant for me. Oh, I'm just unlucky. Brother, I could call myself the most unluckiest person this month. Am I claiming that? No. I'm just moving on to the next trade. Can I be sad about it for a moment? Yes. Be sad about it. Have a routine. Go to a kickboxing class. Punch someone in the face. Knock them out. Have your anger issues left on the map. And then you're gone. You said that one of the most common errors was not waiting for high probability setups. Yes, that is the most common error. I'm telling you, if you understand why I do what I do, and you understand my technicals, and you understand the mentorship 2025, and you go and backtest right now on Bitcoin and some altcoin pairs, and you wait for high probability models, I guarantee you got 10+% months as a minimum. Literally a minimum. 10+% months. Every single month. Minimum. Way more. You could have way more. You could have 40, 50% months. You've seen the whiff trade. You've seen the opportunity. It's just the fact that people cannot wait for it. They cannot wait for it. That's it. And then they miss some. which is that's undeniably going to happen. You're going to miss some trades, okay? You're going to miss some. That's not calculated into the back testing. You can calculate it with your timing window that you're going to be active, but it's the people that missing one, which adds to the chances of them failing to wait for another one. That's what kills them. I've seen it with my own eyes. People understand the models, but they cannot not take a trade. I can guarantee you, in between now and the end of September, there is going to be another whiff trade. And we're going to take it. And then we're up 30 RR. Like, what can I say? It's going to happen. What's your highest percent a month? Probably like 60 plus. Well, probably even more if I calculate, I would say 60 RR on a big boy trade. On a high percentage. on a big risk. Doge was nice. If I have to think of big trades, I have to think of Doge. I have to think of SUI. I have to think of APT. Unfortunately, I have to think of Solana, and I have to think of. No, if I think too long, then there's no trade. Okay, guys, it's 11 p.m. I'm going to get ready for bed. It's the same day tomorrow. We're going to keep on showing up. And even, guys, even if nothing happens tomorrow and you did what you were supposed to do, and it feels like you made no progress, remember, progress is not measured by you making a particular amount of money that week. It's by if you did everything you could that week to the best of your availabilities, okay? Or actually best of abilities. Sticking to the plan, being patient, executing, journaling, reflecting on the journal. That is what will make you a fuck ton of money. That is what made me my money. But you need to understand, it's not as easy as someone makes it look. They always say it. Somebody that is good at what he does makes it look easy. I'm here to tell you, this is what goes on inside the head while I'm making it look easy mentally. Okay? I appreciate you guys. I'm always keeping it real with you. Everybody can do this trading shit, and it can change everyone's life listening to me right now. I promise this from the bottom of my heart. I would not go live from 10 to 11 to fucking make a bullshit story to give you some hope for nothing. Okay? I'm doing this because I care, and I know it can change your life the way it is doing it for me. Okay? I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I'm going to see you all for the London stream. Ciao, ciao.